Ave Maria, everyone. Welcome back to the Roman Martyrology. This is May 29th. St. Paul VI, Pope, who raised to the priesthood on this day, later appointed as Archbishop of Milan, and finally elected to the Roman See, diligently and successfully carried out the Second Vatican Ecumenical Council, promoted the renewal of the life of the Church, especially the sacred liturgy, ecumenical dialogue, and the gospel message to men of this age, until he fell asleep in the peace of the Lord. At Antioch of Syria, today in Turkey, Saint Hezekiah, martyr, who, as a palace official during the persecution of Emperor Diocletian, heard the order that anyone who refused to sacrifice to idols had to abandon the army, immediately deposed the weapons that he had, and was therefore thrown into the Orontes River with a large boulder tied to his right arm. At Trier in Gallia Belgica, in present-day Germany, Saint Maximinus, bishop, who, as an intrepid defender of the integrity of the faith against Arianism, fraternally welcomed Saint Athanasius of Alexandria and other exiled bishops, and, although expelled from his see by his enemies, died at home at Poitiers. At Val di Non in Trentino, the holy martyrs Sicinio, deacon, Martirio, lector, and Alessandro, porter. Cappadocian of origin, they founded a church in this region and introduced the use of songs of praise to the Lord, then ending up being killed by some pagans who were offering purification sacrifices. At Ravenna, Saint Esuperancio, bishop, who governed this church with prudence at the time when King Odoacer took possession of Italy and the city. At Milan, Saint Senatore, bishop, whom, while still as a priest, Pope St. Leo the Great had sent as a legate to Constantinople. At Mâcon in Burgundy, France, Saint Gerard, who, at first being a monk and later bishop, finally led a hermitic life in the forest. At Pisa, Saint Bona, virgin, who made frequent pilgrimages with devotion to the Holy Land, Rome and Compostela. At Avignon, near Toulouse in France, Blessed Guillaume Arnaud and 10 companions, who, united in their commitment to oppose the heresy of the Cathars, were deceitfully arrested because of their faith in Christ and obedience to the Church of Rome, and died pierced with the sword on the night of the Ascension of the Lord, while they intoned the Te Deum with one voice. At Pisa, Blessed Gerardesca, widow, who spent her life in a cell next to the Camaldolese monastery of St. Sabinus, dedicated to the praises of God and intimacy with the Lord. At York in England, Blessed Richard Thirkeld, priest and martyr, who, sentenced to death under Queen Elizabeth I for being a priest and for having reconciled many with the Catholic Church, was delivered to the gallows. At Rome and Lesotho in southern Africa, Blessed Joseph Gerard, priest of the Oblates of Mary Immaculate, who tirelessly proclaimed Christ first in the province of Natal, and then, above all, in Basutoland. At Rome, Saint Maria Ursula of Jesus Ledokowska, virgin, who founded the Institute of the Ursuline Sisters of the Agonizing Heart of Jesus, and undertook tiring journeys through Poland, Scandinavia, Finland, and Russia. Precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints. Ave Maria.